Hey, what's going on, everybody? YouTube, Facebook world, what's going on? We got a special show today. I want to introduce you guys to my guy Fernando Vargas. What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How you doing?
Man, good, man. Can't complain. Fernando is with Florida Digital Center. I'm super excited because we talk all the time, interact all the time about things going on in the group, things going on in business in general, and so I'm just excited to hear what he has to say and what he has to share with you guys tonight. Start out, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your business, what you do now.
Yeah, I'm Fernando Vargas here out of South Florida, here in Palm Beach County, and I just moved back from California, where I was a global events manager for a gaming company, and now pivoting back home. And what can I do? What can we all do right now? We got to go back to what we know best and what our tools are. And coming from a director of marketing with a construction company, that got canceled out. Everybody got sent home. What can I do at home? I pivot my skills and turn to an online business. My online business is doing image consulting, brand consulting, and really trying to get these individuals who are from idea point of view into a positive and profits. Either if you're a self-employed, small business, small company, or even a entrepreneur. There's a lot of different levels out there for you, but I'm trying to just assess and make you a better person, try to make your business better as much as possible. So I have vendors and partnerships throughout the United States, some overseas, to make sure that my resources are your resources and trying to align your business ideas in terms of a business goal. I think we lost audio.
Oh, that's me. I got to hit the right buttons, guys. Forgive me a little bit. So as part of that, how did you get into like what made you love what you do now? Like I know you said the business kind of let you guys go, so that's how you got into it full time. But why did you choose this?
I chose because it was always finding me. I always customer service is a big thing for me. Influencing is a big thing for me, but I didn't know how to really operate it. I've always gave a lot of people great ideas. I always kickstart a lot of good companies and always trying to push. And then I was told, make your own money, make this a business.
So true.
And so, what's the best way? So during Corona, during COVID, like I told you offline, I purchased 15 different domain names, trying to figure out what the best way that I can create something for me. I went through different name changes, but I didn't find it on Instagram. Then I didn't find it on my Sunbiz, so I had to find the best way that had the name on all channels to make it consistent. Because I didn't want to have one name that couldn't be found another way, so I had to make it all the same way. So the biggest thing and my biggest cheat code was that all my partners pivot to a different business. So they gave me their book of business and they gave me the book of resources. So with that, I had the keys for a smaller scale, and I knew my niche client that I want to deal with was the startup people. And here I am now, 6 months later.
Nice, nice. It was something important I heard you saying there was the branding part of it, the fact that you thought about it ahead of time, and I know obviously that's what you do. How important is that piece of it, like the branding? Because like the fact that you even thought the fact that I need all the names to line up everywhere.
So I made it. You're by far. I want to start off say thank you for all the comments you make, and you're very transparent on the page. And the page is a tone of like a co-op. Everybody's involved. Everybody could benefit with everybody's resources. There are easy ways to get ahead, but when you get ahead, you're jumping steps that you don't know how to duplicate, or you jump in steps you know how to troubleshoot. So if those steps come up, you know how things work out. So me always tapping on the back. Excuse me once I got these dogs.
No, you good, man.
But, can you close the door, please? Um, these rabid animals over here. Work from home. Hashtag WFA.
Hey, everybody
Um,
understands.
that's it. So with prior experience and trying to be cost effective, the branding, the consistency had to be the same. If it's $9.99 or if it's $99 like you said it, and then last thing, it has to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been on Instagram since 2011 as a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward now, there's probably no names available if you know what you're looking for. So I started at the biggest level on the website, and I went down, went from macro to micro.
Yep.
So how I wanted to be found on the website, and I just found a name that's kind of similar. So Florida Digital Center is just FL Digital on Twitter, and then on Instagram, the full name was available. So it's not very too far off, but knowing my alt text and my SEOs, everything still could be come up and could be searched. But branding and keeping the name the same was huge to be found and to be some credible, to have a credibility.
Yeah, that's sweet. Hey guys, as you're coming in, if you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments. We'll definitely have some time for that. Anything business, marketing, any business as a whole related, we'll be glad to answer that as we go along. Offline, I know we talked a little bit about customer service. And I know a lot of times in the group, just because I'm marketing, like I'm always on the front end, like I'm like, how do you get more sales? How do you get more people in the door? And when we were talking, you had a passion for customer service, and like talk a little bit about how important that is in business. Even how it can be equal to getting people in the door.
Yeah, so one of the, again, going back to the post that you made, my rule is you want to sell product that you know a lot about. And you don't want to sell a product because it's hot. Like this is the big thing out right now. If you're selling and you're bandwagoning a product, you don't know the chief complaints or the pinpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing the product, that because you're a customer yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a customer yourself, then you want to predict the steps of these customers. How do I want to find it? How do I want to buy it? What are the options to buy it? How do I get it? And if I don't like it, what's that next step? So a lot of people have an option to sell, but don't have the option for returns.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the year or generation of reviews and returns. People are quick purchases, and you could go down instantly. So customer service is huge to me. I have an email template, I have automation, I have chat bots, everything I can, because I make sure that your logo is the way you want it with the nice revisions, because you could get it cheaper, but is it the best alternative route?
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. I know, and in that, man, because that piece, I know how important customer service is, because again, getting them to keep it. Can you get them to keep it after the fact? Can you get them to come back and buy something if they didn't like the first thing? What do you? I mean, how do you coach people through that and make that important? Because like I said, I just talked to so many people, and they're just worried about getting people in the door, churning and burning. How do you coach them to say, hey, look, pay attention to this, and like, what would be like your top tip that they need to pay attention to in that realm?
The biggest thing is just a front end and a back end of a store. So your front end of the store, you got the shelves, you got the products, and that's it. You have the register. Now you're just waiting for people to come. But the back end, the receiving, the logistics, the payroll, everything to make the front end to keep the lights on. So if you're worried about the front, you don't know what's going to happen at the back end. So when you have that one client who's going to pull your card and is going to ask a lot of things, you got to be ready for that. There are two people who goes to the gym. One who wants to stay fit and wants to lose weight. You guys still go to the same department in the gym, but you got to sell them two different options. If you don't know how to sell two different options, you're losing one customer.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure that you're following through and you're listening, adapting. Those are two things: listening and adapting.
I like that, listening. Because and when you said listening, because I've talked to so many people, and I feel like they don't listen. Like you kind of go, I built this product, it's amazing, and then everybody's saying, no, it's horrible, and you're like, it's not horrible, it's great. Like, what's a constructive way to take feedback from customers in that? Like, how do you take that feedback and actually apply it to your business?
Oh man, feedback is hard. The hardest feedback is when you have a client that you didn't want to have. And the feedback is hard when you force a sell on a customer that wasn't ready to be your customer. So at the last one, the guy who did the 3D modeling of the wine stoppers,
Oh
It's
yeah,
a really
yeah,
cool idea. It works. Looks awesome. I already have an idea I want to do with it as a gift, but I'm giving it to someone who's a wine lover. So they go appreciate the product, appreciate the service. So if you're contacting me to do a website and I give you a website and all you want, which is a landing page is not a website.
right.
Just tell me you just want a page, you just want somebody to email me. It's a big difference.
Yeah,
When you say, hey, Fernando, I want a website, I'm thinking 5 pages, 20 tabs, this, and that. Okay, it's going to take me like 3 months to build it. If you just want someone just to click and find my page, that's a different story.
yeah,
So you got to find out exactly what they want to give them the customer service, and hopefully that feedback it doesn't kill you because feedback can take anybody out of business.
yeah, yeah. That's we were talking about in the feedback customer service thing. What it made me think about is we're going into fourth quarter now, and I mean, after coming out of COVID, where it was just like an e-commerce mecca, like everything. If you can't sell right now in this season on e-commerce, you probably shouldn't be in business because everything's online. Um, how do you feel? I know we always get this kind of back and forth, and we didn't talk about this, so so if it's off the wall, you can tell me. How do you feel about returns in small businesses and how they should handle them?
Depending how the product was sold. So there was a website that you demoed and they didn't have any description on the length or the size of the necklace or the size of the bracelet. So if I'm buying based on the quality of the photo and it's the wrong size, well, then that's my fault because I didn't give a description. I didn't walk them through the purchase. I just put the photo up there, and when the person buys it, it's too big or too loose.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden you get the call, well, it was free shipping because you lower your price to get the free shipping. All of a sudden, who's going to pay for that? Return shipping. And who's going to pay to go back? Now you're into 3 shippings now.
yep,
So thinking about the back end, you got to know your cost per goods. And you got to know the possible overhead. So if I'm going to do a 2-for-1, what is that really 2-for-1 going to cost me?
yep, yeah.
So returns for small businesses, it sucks, but it's needed because if that's the product,
yeah,
but if it's a wearable product, I probably will be very fine lines on descriptions on when and how this could be returned. But other than that, it's also final,
yeah.
depending on the product.
Yeah, that's so good. One of the businesses I work with, they sell food products, but the biggest thing for them is guaranteeing freshness. And like almost every time, it doesn't matter as long as it's a freshness issue, we're replacing it because, and it actually worked out good. And it costs a lot. Like, let's not get it wrong. Like, I mean, we try to build in margin for that issue, like you said. The double shipment, like we're not taking return shipments. It's food. Like you keep it, we're just gonna send another one. But man, it hurts after a while. Like looking at the shipping but the name lasts longer because so many people come back that had a bad experience, but we took care of them, and so they come back and buy more and buy gifts, and so it's just what you're talking about is so amazing, and like people should really pay attention again, especially going into fourth quarter. Like. I know we talked about customer service. I know we talked about returns specifically. What other kind of back end processes do you feel like small businesses, people new in business, new entrepreneurs aren't paying attention to or are missing just because they don't know?
I will say, looking at my wall where I have all my stuff here, and working from home, I know my habits.
Yeah.
I'm a lazy person, but I'm not lazy in a lot of categories. I focus on some, and others I slack off. So the part I slack off, I try to surround myself with a lot of Post-its, a lot of notes, and a lot of pictures to keep myself entertained and knowing the stretch. So I think the back end are key partners and key resources. So if I was a back end and I was a boutique, cosmetic, let's say a fashion boutique, which is probably quite average. I want to make sure, okay, so if I'm a boutique, who are my key partners? Shipping is probably a key partner. A stylist is probably a key partner. Someone who does alterations is a key partner. Fabrics, those are key partners. outside of that, who are my resources? How can I sell it? Can I have different options to sell it? What's the best way? So definitely resources and key partners to make that small business grow.
Man, that's so good. Um, this is kind of on topic, kind of off topic. With the key partners, one of the things that I noticed, there's a lot of people that are like selling the resource or selling the key partners. Like, how do you really suggest people find those partners? Like, find the actual, like you said in the boutique example. If you know I need shipping, what do you think the best route is for them to actually find it? Do those lists work, or is it kind of?
Everybody's budget is different. Everybody's business model is different. So I one thing that helps me out is that I am not afraid to ask any questions. I'm afraid to ask for help. I have my own board members, I have my own advisors, I have my own mentors. So if I'm not skilled in this, I want to make sure that's going to help me out. And I'm not going to spend hours of my time of sleep trying to build a website when I just could call blacktimemedia.com out of North Carolina and get some help. So I got to make sure that I know who my partners is. So for that shipping, definitely do some research. Go through Google, go through Facebook, ask some questions, and figure, okay, listen, I sell these lipsticks. I want to know how much would it cost for a pre-printed box, or how much would it cost just for this box, and here are the measurements. And do some shopping around.
Yeah, man, that's so good. Like, man, you're saying so much good stuff. I'm compounding in it because you're talking
But
about.
hold on. Before you go any
Go
further,
ahead.
I'm on the Facebook page and I'm on your page. I can't see the link that I want to share as well too.
Who's
'Cause normally I'm on the other side watching you.
yeah.
Now that I'm in, I can't see the line.
Let me make sure. It's there. It should be in the. You might have to search it by name inside the group. That's funny. It's like
Yeah,
it's
'cause
different.
I'm always a watcher, and I'm never part of it. Okay, so announcements, 1700 announcements. Okay.
Yeah. If you look up above announcements, it should be like a magnifying glass, and you should be able to just type my name, and then it should pop up. That's
Just your name, right?
yeah, it's just my name, and that.
Okay.
So that's first, real quick. That's funny. It's funny that you said that. How you're like you're always a watcher, and to be on here, like to me, this is the perfect talk and conversation when we're talking about partnerships. Like we met on Facebook. Like
Yeah, we met on Facebook, and I went and I probed you. I was like, hey, I like what you're doing. This is what I'm gonna do. There's an opportunity, and doing that, I have to bring value. For
yeah,
me, for me to want you to answer my communication, I had to bring value, and to
yeah,
bring value, I'd have to do more than like. I had to comment, I had to engage, I had to show value. Okay, this guy Fernando, he is saying some stuff. This guy
yeah,
Fernando, he is adding value. Okay, so when he does message, oh, I remember that last comment, or I remember that he did submit a website and he did offer. Okay, I'm going to give him the time and ask.
yeah,
So some people don't bring value and they just ask for too much without bringing value at the table sometimes.
yeah. That's so good. I mean, a huge thing that like you stood out to me too is like you said you had dropped your site in one of the website reviews. I said a couple things, and then you hit me back like, "Hey, look, I changed I did it. Tell me what you think now." And I'm like, "Hold on, I'm not used to people actually like a lot of people are listeners, and they don't like we were talking about earlier. Like they don't take criticism well, they don't take feedback well, and you were just like, "Oh no, that's good. It's better in my business." Like now, let's work on something. Let's move
There's a
forward. And
reason why you're doing this open forum and asking for help, and this is why you're doing a digital online audit, which costs hundreds of dollars an hour, and you're giving away 30 seconds for free.
yeah,
So I'm going to get that free resource, which is this page that I'm using,
yeah,
and you became a key partner, and the key activity is following you.
yeah,
So that's my back end. So now, I joined a group, I commented a group, and what did I get? I got a free business audit, and I got a free online audit. That's return investment.
yeah. Man, that's so good. Like that, like you're saying, the key partners, like this prime example of how a key partner can help. How I mean, we don't know what's going to happen down the line. Like
No, not at all.
we're in the same arena, but we don't do the same thing. Like you know what I mean? Like it's so much stuff that down the line this can now turn into a key partnership, and it's those conversations, it's those. But it's the value, like he said. It's he gave value. I noticed because we talked, we had conversations in the Facebook, and man, like, whew, all right, that was a lot. I was trying to let all that marinate. That felt good.
But let me
But
ask you a couple
yeah,
questions. One thing that only critique that I would like to ask or add on to things that I feel that sometimes these individuals have a small budget and they trusted the designer or they trusted somebody that they could make this website for them.
hmm
So there is some accountability for the person who did pay the bill
yeah,
to make sure all the clicks works, all the tabs work. But a lot of these individuals are cutting costs and cutting corners and trusting someone. So I think either they build the website themselves, then they hold complete accountability. And
hmm
if they just cut corners, or I don't say cut corners, but if they did cost-effective approach on building a website, then they trusted someone, and that someone failed them.
yeah,
So because there was this one lady, I think this one website, a photo was missing, a tab was not working, and I'm like, oh man, I cringed, and I was like, oh man, that looked like somebody failed her. Like
yeah,
she didn't do this herself. So, and people don't look; they just see it. They see the prettiness, the website work, but they're not clicking. They're
yeah.
not clicking. They're not assuming. They're not seeing it on the website. They're not seeing it's mobile ready. So it's like, oh man, someone failed her. Now she's on this website. Now she's on Facebook Live, and Kristen got her.
And that's funny. Hey, it's all constructive. I'm very
So,
nice. I have conversations offline
yeah,
with some of my
that's
partners, and they're like, "Dude, why are you
so in the
so
future,
nice?"
I think if you're gonna submit your website, also submit that. Like the lady, she sent you a beta version,
Which one?
a beta version. She gave you a password.
Yeah, yeah,
That was really good. And we already knew off the rip that this was a back end. It's not published yet, so
yeah.
it's some kinks. But yeah, the more they know, good to go. But what are your three? I think it goes back to this question. A lot of people want to sell a lot of stuff.
Yep.
What's your home run thing that you like to sell to your customers? Like, what's your home run
Like for my business personally,
for your business? For your business.
that I like to sell is, or like, I like to sell full sales funnel packages because I control it all. But the
Here's my
kind of
catalog. I do all this, but what's your home run that you think that most people could benefit for? And it could just be a single item.
honestly, so not to be full of myself, not to like honestly, I think the actual audit, the actual conversation, like a coaching call, especially if you already have a site, if you already started a little bit, because like one of the big things that we jumped into is Shopify sites because I just have a lot of e-commerce partners, and so I just got really good at it. I got really good at churning out Shopify sites specifically. Like I use other platforms, but having the actual call, like having a coaching call, and let's go step by step, like taking an hour, because again, like I give all this free advice, and for whatever reason, when you give it free, it's not always taken the same. And
Yeah.
so honestly, that's a lot of times why my price goes up, because it's like you have to invest. Because if you're not even willing to invest in yourself, then I don't want to waste the time, you know. Um,
And I think that's a great transition because a lot of people at that point they got to separate themselves and the business.
yeah,
Like it may be too much for you, but the
yeah,
business need this extra $500 investment. Like you can't see yourself spending, but right now when you become a business owner or self-employed or entrepreneur, you got to separate the two. Like
yeah,
the business needs these websites, the business needs these tools, the business needs to spend this amount of money. So I think a lot of people still think themselves like, oh man, I can't spend. Well, you're not the business. The business need these tools to go. And that's one of the things that I run into. A lot of people are self-employed but not really a small business.
Whew. You'd have hit it. You'd have hit it on him. Self-employed versus business owner, man. That's some Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrants. We're getting deep on them, man.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong being an owner operator. You know, you're just a person of one, and you do many things.
Yeah.
And then if you're a entrepreneur, you're the hustler trying to get things going. But to go to the small business, that means you have invoice 1,000. You have different channels. You have things in automated, and you're just trying to take it to the next stretch, the next campaign. But to go from entrepreneurship to small business, steps.
Yeah. Yeah. And the systems, man, that's what you're talking about it, back end systems. Like, you got to look at your business.
Has any of your clients were not aware of the 3% plus 30 cents that Square charges?
You know, it's funny. The amount of people that I talk to that are like, I don't want to charge credit cards because they charge a fee. Like, they know, but they think that it's too much. Like, I guess I'm just like, it's a cost of doing business. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. You know, is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah. So I have a client, and we're trying to see, want to sell on Instagram, want to sell on Facebook, you want to sell, and they know what they know was popular. Would you see, Square spend $1 billion in ads, and I want Square. Okay, if you want Square, just let you know that they're going to charge you 1 to 3% per transaction, plus 30 cents, plus this, and that. So that $100 sale turns into 97, 88, depending.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just making sure. You could take payments manually, but it's gonna take longer. But that's the customer service.
Yeah.
If you want that quick transaction, you got to give that person the customer service multiple options to pay. But they got to call you and give their number. I'm gonna move somebody else. I lost my option of buying. Sorry.
You'd be surprised how many people I run into that still take paper checks because they don't want to pay the fee. And I'm like, this is like 2020, right? Like, this is funny. I went to Miami last year. No, actually, it's actually this year before COVID. And I'm on the street and I'm looking for a cigar vendor. And the map is like, he's here. And I'm looking, there's no cigar store. I look up and it's literally a guy. And he's like from there, like local guy, been there all his life, sits right in front of this other store.
Really?
And he just has like a table. It's like a table in front of like a beach store. And he's sitting there hand rolling cigars. And so I'm like, you're on Google. Like, you have a My Google. Like, I searched you in the map. And he starts laughing. So I go to pay him and he pulls out his little thing. He's got his swipe. He's like, yeah, I don't even really take cash. Like, I take cash tips, but the card is just easier, so I don't have to carry it. And I'm like, why do so many businesses not get how important like those little things are? Like you said, like the being there, being seen. Oh,
but
man,
the thing is, it's time. A lot of people want to get financial freedom and they want their time back. And that's the number one thing that I want to sell. If you're this business owner and you're doing everything. So my business owner cookie cutter is this. If you have a Gmail account, your business has a Gmail account, you're my customer. If you're making all phone calls from your cell phone, you're my customer. If you don't have a Google business listing, you're my customer. Reason why? Because you are at the next step to take it to the next step.
Yep.
So to take it to the next step, let me give you a free landline.
Yep.
Let me get your Google listing done in 5 steps.
Yep.
Let me get you a free business website and email address under $100 to make you professional. Like, let me get you the starter steps, the starter pack. And with that, I could push you forward. But me taking over that step, you get time back to do something else.
Yep.
Because if you're focusing on the same thing, your business is not growing, something gets overlooked, so forth and so forth. So if you do you do so much, you find somebody to do it for you, and you move on to the next stretch, move on to the next stretch, move on to the next stretch. I lost my job in June, and for the first 3 months, I was doing everything myself. Now, I found a resource that tweets for me all for my handles 10 times a day. So now I'm no longer doing any social media posts. Everything that's on my own, or for my channel. So that time, that 1 hour, goes to something else. Nice. Now I have a chat box. I have the text message. Everybody text create to 31996. See what happens. You can text.
I love that.
NAACP. See what happens. Trust me. Yeah, text these keywords. Things happen. So using these resources and these partners has given me time to move on to the next step that I need to help my business grow. Because if not, I'm doing it by myself, and you do it by yourself, you're going to be out of business in 3 months.
Yeah, that's so good. Man, so I always got to ask everybody in business this, just because social media is like my thing. That's where I'm always facing. What platform for you and your business do you feel is the most beneficial right now, or that you actually meet the most people, connect with the most people?
I would say Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook is my channel, and my operating channels is Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Google. Those are the 5 channels that I use. Mm-hmm. And out of top to bottom, Facebook, Google, Instagram, and Twitter is the way I find my clients. In my email signature, it goes directly to my Google page. Goes to my Google page, you can see my reviews right away. You see that I'm listed. You see that I'm verified. You see everything right away. And then from there, you want to go to my website. So I want to control you, and I want to give you a roadmap. So if you just go to my website, what's fan website? If you go to the Google page, it's like, oh, wow, why am I going to, let me look more about this guy Google page, and I see everything.
Yeah.
And then from there, I have a potential client.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. You dropped so many gems, man. Hey guys, as you come in again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll be glad to answer some questions, anything business, marketing, all that. Man, I feel like we just uncovered so much, and we only like halfway through. Because
it's my question for you that I need help with.
Yep.
For my website, my problem on my website is that I am customer conscious. Mm-hmm. And I think I do what other people do. I kind of think for myself and don't think that, okay, I don't want to be too pushy, so I don't want to have too many tabs. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have too many call to actions. That's why there weren't too many. Mm-hmm. I think that I want to gain someone's trust, give them some information, and then ask for a purchase later. But you said, no, you have to add these tabs. Mm-hmm. So how do you know? Can you break down the page breaks? And that's how you said that each page break should be an action.
Yeah, so definitely on the websites, the way that I feel it needs to be a call to action every time. So the way that I think of it easy is anybody that has a mouse with the rolling wheel in the middle. Every time I roll the wheel, there needs to be a call to action, because that's literally 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. And most people are coming to your website, and they're not, especially in a service business, because there's only so much for them to look at on a service-based business page. On the product page, you may get a few more seconds if they're trying to find your product. But like, I try to, what's that old saying? Keep it simple, stupid. Like, I try to make everything so simple, because like, especially with the fact that most, especially in the service business, most websites aren't getting the same amount of traffic. You're not really sending them. And like, so even me, like, I have a website. I don't really send traffic to my website. I have it there more as a business card, more if somebody stumbles across me, they see it in my email signature, they find my Google, and there's something there. I try to concentrate more on paid traffic personally, because I can control the funnel. I'm telling you where to go, and I'm, dropping landing pages. I'm like, whatever I'm selling it to you direct. Like, so I leave the website more as a business card for my business personally. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah. I just went to my one of my clients, and I went to see their Google's overview. 16,000 impressions. Mm.
Nice.
And this is only a 30-day stretch.
Oh.
So he just hit 500 followers on Instagram. Mm-hmm. He has probably spent maybe like $50 on Facebook ads, but to get 16,000 organic impressions through all his channels, it was an accomplishment in 30 days because every little bit helps. Website
Oh,
got like 500, Instagram got this, and that, and I gave them some tools and some tricks to monetize that foot traffic. And have a website as your business card is a pretty good idea. And me getting that text number, because if I give you my business card, I lost you. I don't know what you can do with that card. You're gonna throw it, you're gonna lose it. But if you text this number, now I have you in my database, and now I can contact you whenever I want. Like, hey, monthly special, hey, season special, and holiday special. Now I can trigger you now.
yeah. Man, that's so good. So it's funny. It's funny that you just said that because I've had this debate with some people. You were talking about physical business card, right? And we're in such a digital age, and the idea that like, do you personally have physical business cards that you give out when you're in person?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. And what I did was this is a my photo and a client. So the client paid for my business cards. And how I got my
God.
client paid my business cards, I chose their photo, their business as my business card. So now their business is being handed out 100 times a week. And I was
I
like,
love
hey, you
that.
want advertising?
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, that's
Buy
so
me a
good.
box of 10,000. Buy me a box of 10,000 business cards, and I'm gonna give them out for you. Okay, Fernando, here it is.
Yeah.
So not only am I showing off, that client gets a free flyer.
Hey, look, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say after that, man. Because I've been on the fence about even getting new business cards personally, and just and it.
What I sent you in Facebook Messenger, that's my new digital card now.
Nice, nice. So do you? And it, obviously, it's probably been a while as far as networking. How are you at networking in person? Do you just go straight to that digital? Hey, let me text this to you or something, or is that more for when you're talking to people online?
Um, I came back from California in March of 2019. From 2019, from March of 19 till maybe December, I was lost.
Hmm.
I spent so much money on business cards. I passed out. I want to speak to a lot. I went to one network event. A guy said you need to speak to one person, find that one guy or that one lady or that one business, and leave. If it takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but just find that one person and leave. Don't waste out here because a lot of people are coming for these networks just to drink or eat for free, and that's pretty much not really to gather or beef up their business. So depending on what they're doing, I've tried it out. Oh, business card, sorry, I don't have any, and I lost it. But now with a text line, I said I'll just text you my information, just text a word. But me, I purchase a different words, like the word tonight or this works or why not or my name Fernando. Like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh no. So I text it and it has like a flyer, it has video, it has my information. Like, oh my God, this is so easy. I need this for my business. So I was like, this one will cost me $20. And that's it. How much business cards are costing you? Business cards cost more than $20.
All day, all day. Man, that's so good, man. You dropping so many nuggets. I'm over here trying to keep notes of everything we're covering. Again, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Uh, what, man? There's so many good questions. What
Someone comment that they feel bad about when folks don't book through their websites.
So
I'll take this one.
yeah, go ahead. I'm like I was like, go ahead.
Um, so 6 months my website has been live. I probably made maybe 3 transactions on my website. One transaction has been Cash App. Outside of Cash App has been direct deposits or pick up live checks. That's just the way the nature of the business is or the way my clients are set up. Again, I sell services, you might sell a product. But if your website is just to complement your business. If you don't have any transactions on your website, maybe there's a few steps missing on your websites. There's a few descriptions, but don't think your website. Don't think nobody's buying anything. It's just maybe they could buy it in a different way, or your
Yeah,
product is being sold differently, in a sense.
yeah, man. That's so yeah. That's such a good point, man. One of the things I actually touch on, when, especially in e-commerce, is that I keep trying to, and I heard somebody else say it the other day, and I literally was like, I thought everybody thought I was crazy. Is the fact that like so many people are trying to get people to go to their website cold, especially e-commerce website, and spend money like they don't know you. And so I always tell people, call it the cash register method, where it's your website, especially in e-commerce specifically, should be a cash register. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't have to sell. Like the social
Oh
media,
wow,
the ads,
I like that.
everything up until that point is what sells them. When somebody clicks on my site, I just want them to buy, and then I make it. And that's why I always go to simplistic approach on the website, because I just want them to buy. So if I've done my job properly on the front end, by the time you get to my website, you should just be clicking the button. That's it. Like it's the equivalent of you sending an invoice in a service business. Like
Yeah, it's very true because sometimes I feel that my website as a service was to doing business consulting, digital branding, digital assets, logos, websites. Like my website had to reflect on the services that I could offer. So my websites had to reflect on the services that I sell. So if my website does not look like the services that I sell, then that person don't have any trust in me.
yeah,
So it took me a while to get that. I thought I just could get a free Wix website, and that would be enough, and just call it a day
yeah,
with one, two, three things. Now I had to add all these tabs, all these stuff, because I'm selling these individuals, I'm selling these text services, text create or text photos. So as a photographer, if you want your photos, just text the word photos. So when to Atlanta for a photo shoot, I don't want to pick a call or pick up this or just to book me right away. It's photos, and it walks you through the steps. Because as an entrepreneur handing out so many business cards, I don't save numbers. So I don't want to not pick up a number, but I don't want to lose someone. So the text photos saves me that time, and I know whoever texts the photos wants to book me, wants to pay. And like you said, the text photo is my cashier, and your website is like the cashier. But your ads is like the customer service. Your ads is like window shopping. Your ads is like this, and that. But you could do really great. All right, Chris. So, what's a required amount of social media ads? $30 a day, $100 a day, $100 a month. Does it depend on the product? Does it depend on the client? Like, what is a realistic budget?
I definitely say it depends on the product and budget, obviously, but because there are, I tell everybody to start small to test, because Facebook, I mean, all of them, their back end is so tight that you could literally start off doing $5 a day just to try it.
Yeah.
Because then you go, are if 3 people are coming to my site, then I know it's only getting 3 people. So either the ad's not great, or I'm not reaching enough people. So then you push it to $10 a day. If the number matches, and it's like, okay, 6. So that's your formula. So if you can afford to put whatever in, it's this one guy following. His biggest thing that he says is, whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer will win. And when you get into bigger businesses, even in a small business, like if everybody's doing lip gloss, if I can afford to pay, say I sell 15, everybody sell a $15 lip gloss. If I can afford to pay $10 for an ad to sell each one, and I still make money, then I win, because I'll just keep buying up all the ad space, and you won't see anybody else's.
What about Google? Well, I won't say Google. Google's like the big thing now. There's also search engine platforms. These, how would you, but branding wise, how would you pick a domain name that helps with keywords? Because if your product or your business or your domain name does not match that keyword, you can't be found regardless of how much you spend.
Man, see, now we're going down this dark. We're going down this dark hole of I don't.
So not to pick on a product, but there was one that said shine bright like a diamond accessories.
Yeah, I remember.
Some of those words are not keywords that someone is searching. They may search the word accessories. So shine bright like a diamond is probably your slogan,
Yeah,
but shouldn't be your business name. It shouldn't be your domain name. It could be your slogan.
yeah,
It could be your pitch or something, but it shouldn't be your domain name
yeah,
because one is too long and two, no one's searching shine bright like a diamond accessories.
yeah. And so you said that and just brought this one thing back to my mind that like, because and I'm always talking keep it simple, right? Because I want it to be memorable. I want you to say it quick and it's done. Um, and with websites, there's this gray area, right, when you get into branding, right? Because you want them to know the name, whatever you call it. But the man, like old school when you walk down the street and the sign just says hot dogs. You don't know what the name of the company is. You don't care. They sell hot dogs. Let
Fresh
me go
hot
get hot
dogs.
dogs. Right. And so it's some of it is like this double edged sword of that. Like you can have a brand name again, still make it shorter. Like that was still a super long name, but man, if there was a website that said marketing.com, I would buy it. Like if that was available, I would just buy it because you search, like you said, you search marketing, boom, I'm the guy. Man, there's this one guy or a group of guys on it. You ever Tony Robbins? I think it is.
Yes.
They went into business together. Him and a couple other guys. They were starting another course thing, and literally they couldn't figure out a name, and so another guy that wanted to get into business with them paid like almost close to $1 million for the website domain name
Really?
mastermind.com. Yeah. Because everybody in professional services is like, oh, my mastermind, my mastermind. So he went and found who owned mastermind.com, bought it, took it to them and say, hey, I want to be a partner. But like it's Tony Robbins, it's like these guys are going to do well over that. But look how simple that is. Like now, if you search mastermind, like their site's going to come up. Like, what? But it's simple.
Here's my how can I say this? I love SEO. I love the option. I consider SEO as an option.
Mm-hmm.
If and here's my thing, you may want to hope you don't cancel me after this. I hope there's no cancel culture after this. SEO should be a stretch, should be a campaign. If you're still using SEO, you don't have a good business. If you got to pay people to look for you, you don't have a good business, in a sense. So my thing, if I'm the best concrete pourer in South Florida, are people really going on the internet looking for concrete pourers? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that each category of a business don't really need SEO that much because once you go in, it's word of mouth. But if you're a new product and you're a new brand, then you need SEO to help all the different avenues to get in. But if you're still using paid advertising to be found, something's not right with the business, in my opinion.
Whew, this might be
I could be
cancel
wrong.
culture, man.
I could be completely wrong, but I think search engine optimization and search SEM or SEO, that they're really great, but it shouldn't be the only thing you do. You should have other avenues to channel yourself in front of your customer. Like, what are your customer segments? Okay, my ideal customer is this age group, this color, this figure, this style, this personality, and does my product fit those things? If my product fit those things, then organically I should be found. But if I can't be found organically, I'm going to pay blacktiemedia.com to help me out to get to that extra level.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and it's funny because I literally had a conversation. One of my clients, we were talking to a company that does SEO, and like, because we all the time we just talk to people to hear what they say to see, learn a couple tricks, but then to see like, are they just trying to sell more and all that. So we're talking, and literally we get into the product and we start searching, and what we've realized in SEO for this particular client was there's legitimately no way for them to get on the front page with SEO
Really?
because it's a food product and the first 3 pages of Google are all recipes of those products. So like they could get like their name, like they could get their business name, they can get their area, stuff like that. But when they were like trying to break down the specific flavor and all that, I mean, even their biggest competitors were on like page 9 or 10 because the recipe sites were bigger and they just kill it and they're consistent, blog sites, they're considered consistently pumping content, so theirs is always at the top. And I was like, oh well, we're paid ads, but what's funny is we're the paid ad up the top though. So they got the front page here, but our ad is above them.
With your experience, you've been in here in this industry a lot. You consider yourself an industry leader because that's the way you present yourself and you back up everything you say, and there's truth to your words, and you bring out, you help my website as well too, and we're in a similar field. What attributes to a website or to social media might be obsolete? Because at one time, the QR code was a dinosaur. And look what came back out. QR code.
Yeah.
Who does QR code? QR code was so early 2000. Now all of a sudden, everyone is using the QR code. So for the website, do you need the About section anymore? Do you need the Home tab? Like, can it be reinvented, or what's the next wave for websites?
My bad. I missed that last one. My thing skipped. I heard you say about the About Me page.
Yeah. So with a generic website, you have Home,
Right.
About, Contact, Services, Gallery.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're on your website, so you can replace the word Home. Like, no one needs to write. No one needs to go to Home anymore. You can just make your logo clickable.
Right.
Now, is About Me, is all services needed About Me, or can that go away?
Man.
Or About Us?
See, now you're gonna now you're gonna take me down a different rabbit hole because, so me personally, if we're going like my grand belief is that a traditional website, I mean, you put it there and it's almost set it, forget it. Like make it evergreen. Like don't put date, like a date. Like I've been in business for 20 years. Like leave it so that you don't have to keep going back to it. Because what I'm always going to do is say, I'm always going to challenge the traditional website and go, we talked about this offline. What's your actual goal? Like you just want a website because everybody said, let's get a website. But is your goal to get leads? Is your goal to create more sales? I have a different way. I'm going to say, do an ad, give something away for free, put them in an email list, send them emails and sell them. Or send them here so I can call them and put a person on the phone and say, we're talking, local business, local plumber, right? I don't want the website. I want to get leads because I'm not trying to sell you when you have a problem. I'm trying to sell you new toilets. So I'm trying to sell you new stuff that you didn't know you needed yet. Like
new stuff. So my comeback to that is at times I'm consulting for business up in the Northeast, mm-hmm. and their business is a different stature where they didn't need About Us, mm-hmm. they need About Me, mm-hmm. and they saw that real estate of that tab could be another page that the website needs. Mm-hmm. Like we are a X business and this is our X service, so we don't need About Us. Like there's no need About Us. Mm. I think About Us, like Ferrari or what city do you live in?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay. Lexus of Charlotte. I'm sure .com doesn't have About Us.
Yeah.
WaffleHouse.com doesn't have About Us. Some websites have About Us if they're traditional and if they want to be wholesome or whatnot, but not all services have About Us anymore.
I guess maybe it goes back to how you're positioning yourself, like you were saying, like if you're a local and you're trying to be the face, like I have an About Us because like I'm the face. So I want you to know the guy that runs the team, like obviously I don't put contractors on there and stuff like that, but like I feel like local businesses. I did a chiropractor's website, so they have an about us because you're going to be
Yeah.
person facing. So yeah, I mean I
Yep.
agree with what you say. Like if your service doesn't need it, if you don't need to have a face for your service, then don't. Like you don't have to. Would you still do it just cause it's the status quo?
My about us has turned into quick. It's my elevator pitch. So if you're going through the website and you
Yep.
want to see the about us, I'm just showing you what we're capable of doing.
Yep.
So my about us is almost a resume.
Yep.
But website is how you're done before, and that's about us. But less text, more visuals.
Yeah. That's so good. Man, what? Oh man, we didn't. Whew, we running. Man, you got any final thoughts for the peoples, man? Like I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to be on here tonight. Like it's such a good conversation. Like time flew. I looked up and was like, oh. So
Almost an hour.
you got any closed thoughts for these for everybody?
Yeah. I there are duplicate ways and duplicate blueprints you can duplicate to get your business forward. But not all businesses run the same way. Not everybody can use the same diet. Not everybody can use the same structure. So your business is structured to you. Your business is structured to your budget. Your business is structured to either going to be. It, not all business is a gold mine. Some business is a lifestyle business. And the lifestyle business is that you're going to make 30K a year on this business, or you're gonna make 60K, or you're gonna make 100K, and that's it. You're gonna top out. So if you know your business is gonna be your gold mine or your retirement, then you have to structure your business that I'm gonna retire this. I'm gonna have some generation, but if this business is a lifestyle business, then enjoy the extra 5K a month, and that's all it's gonna bring you because that's all you want because it's a lifestyle business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're gonna hire a third-party person, please be as transparent. Ask many questions. Do your research. Ask on Facebook. It's a small circle. Don't get scammed. Don't put money up front. Negotiate a contract. Ask for samples. Ask for references. Please don't get burned. This $50 is a lot to some people, and people are doing a lot of work for $50, and they take your money.
Yeah.
So be cautious. Do your research and ask for samples. Even if it's watermarked, still see the product, still see it before you make a deposit, if possible.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Hey guys, again, he dropped in there the text. He dropped text in the comments. I dropped it over on the YouTube side to make sure everybody sees that, man. Man, Fernando, I honestly appreciate it. Like this was such a great call. You dropped so much value in here. Man, anytime, hit me up. We can do this again.
My last question for
Go
you:
ahead.
what soundtrack would be an entrepreneur's album? Like, what kind of music? What up tempo? Like, how would you give this new business? Like, what soundtrack would you give them? Like, what kind of music would you give them to get going?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get that late '90s hip hop, man. That grimy grind, like some Jay-Z or something. Some like real hustlers music. Oh man, that's good.
Thank
I
you
like
so
that.
much. I do appreciate this, and I'll keep on commenting. I'll keep on getting those free advice because if you're offering, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And thank you for being a key partner.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro. Hey, you guys have a good night. Again, like and share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this with anybody that missed it. Cause I mean, there's so many gems in this. Like I'm gonna be chopping this up for days, dropping these everywhere. So, y'all have a good night. Thanks.
Take care. Bye bye. We're off.
Cool.